Maximum attention, Madridista fans! What's happening right now in the corridors of the Santiago Bernabéu isn't just a transfer window. It's a refoundation, a silent and strategic declaration of war that will determine who will reign supreme in world football for the next decade. While rivals count coins and drown in debt, Real Madrid operates with the precision of a surgeon and the composure of a general. Today, we'll go beyond the headlines. We'll delve into the minds of Florentino Perez and Xabi Alonso to understand the complex puzzle being assembled, every piece, every rejection, every signing as part of a larger plan. A plan that began with a door being slammed in the face of a desperate English giant, continued with a non-negotiable demand from our new manager, and culminated in the introduction of an heir who carries the future in his hands. So, if your blood is as white as this shirt, you owe it to us to be with you on this journey. Subscribe now, activate the bell so you don't miss a single detail of this revolution, and like to show the world the strength of the Madridista nation. Get ready, because today we're going to reveal the brutal message. What was the one sentence Florentino Perez used to end Chelsea's hopes and send a warning to the entire Premier League? The Commander's Law. What ultimatum did Xabi Alonso give the board that accelerated the search for reinforcements and put veterans on high alert? The declared enemy. How did a player monitored for months make the fatal mistake of choosing the wrong side of history? And why did Madrid celebrate his decision? The new jewel. All the details of the secret operation that brought the new Argentine prince to the Bernabéu and why he is considered the final piece in Xabi's chess game. Stay with me, because the first domino to fall has already made a deafening noise in Europe. Let's start with what seems like a simple refusal, but is actually a manifesto of power. Chelsea, a club that had become a carousel of expensive players and soulless projects, found itself in a desperate position with Christopher Nkunku signed. As a star, the Frenchman became a financial and technical burden, spending more time in the medical department than on the field. In an act of pure convenience, the London board tried the most obvious move, offering its problem to the biggest club in the world. They knocked on Real Madrid's door. The answer, according to the master of information, Fabrizio Romano, was more than a no. It was a lesson. Sources close to the Madrid board revealed that the communication was brief, professional, and decisive. We're not interested, and there's no scenario in which we'll be. Nkunku is not part of our project. End of conversation. Let's delve into the depth of this. Florentino Perez wasn't just rejecting a player. He was reaffirming a sacred principle. Real Madrid isn't anyone's plan B. It's not a rehabilitation center for fading careers, or a dumping ground for other clubs' miscalculations. The white jersey is a prize, not a lifeline. This decision, made in seconds, was a direct message not only to Chelsea, but to all the super rich in the Premier League. Your money can buy a lot, but it doesn't buy our dignity or dictate our rules. And this philosophy aligns perfectly with the new boss's arrival at the bank. Rejecting Nkunku was the first major act of harmony between Perez's institutional vision and Xabi Alonso's tactical demands. The coach doesn't want patches, he wants pillars. And this takes us straight to the epicenter of the revolution he's leading. If Florentino builds the institutional wall, Xabi Alonso is in charge of building the wall on the field, and he started with the foundation. Anyone who remembers Xabi as a player remembers a maestro who controlled the game with his mind. Now, as a coach, he demands that his team, especially his defense, play with the same intelligence and ferocity. Last season left its scars. Goals conceded at crucial moments, a sense of vulnerability against fast teams, the absence of an intimidating leader in the style of Sergio Ramos. Xabi witnessed it all, and his diagnosis was relentless. Real Madrid's defense was permissive. In his first contacts with the board, his message was a veiled ultimatum. We can have the best attack in the world, but without a defense that bleeds for every ball, we won't win Europe. Rebuilding the defense isn't a priority, it's an emergency. He didn't ask for names, he asked for profiles, tactically astute, physically dominant players, and, above all, with a warrior mentality. The era of Sutantai defenses is over. Xabi wants soldiers. And this demand put the locker room on alert. Established names, who may have become complacent, felt the pressure. This frantic search for players who fit this elite profile has led the club into direct confrontation with the financial arrogance of the English market, with the mission of strengthening the midfield to protect their future new defense. Real Madrid's scouting department, after months of data analysis and observation, identified a perfect target. Adam Wharton, the young Crystal Palace midfielder, was the embodiment of what Xabi was looking for. tireless, intelligent in reading the game, and with the personality to not be intimidated at the Bernabéu. The negotiation was being worked out behind the scenes, with the discretion that characterizes Florentino's operations. It was then that Crystal Palace made a mistake that could cost them dearly. In the future, sensing Madrid's interest, they acted not as business partners, but as opportunists in a cynical move. They raised the player's price by more than 25%, attempting to auction their asset to the highest bidder. The Bernabéu's response was icy silence, followed by a complete and irrevocable withdrawal from the negotiations. For Florentino Perez, the club's pride and principles are non-negotiable. Real Madrid is not blackmailed. It does not enter into inflated auctions by agents or clubs trying to profit from its greatness. The message to the market was crystal clear. We have our price. If they don't accept it, good luck selling your player to someone else. This episode permanently soured relations with the English club and served as a reminder that, although Real Madrid has financial power, its greatest strength lies in its strategy and its refusal to play along with others. While Madrid walked away from one target out of principle, another player, lacking principle, made a decision that forever scarred him in the eyes of Madrid fans. Ibrahima Konate's name was highlighted in red on the list of potential defensive reinforcements. The Liverpool and French international defender had all the physical and technical attributes to become an important player in Xabi Alonso's system. The club was monitoring him, understood his potential, and was considering a move. The bombshell, however, came from where it was least expected. News confirmed that the player not only ruled out Real Madrid, but also showed great enthusiasm for joining the project. Barcelona, let's be clear, for the Madrid community, this isn't just a career choice. It's an affront. It's the conscious exchange of the pursuit of eternal glory for the acceptance of current mediocrity. It's turning one's back on Europe's most feared stadium to play for a club mired in financial leverage and sporting uncertainty. The reaction within Real Madrid wasn't anger, but relief. One director reportedly commented, "We'd better know now what kind of mentality he has." The club didn't lose a defender. They got rid of a player who doesn't understand the full extent of what it means to wear the white shirt. To play for Real Madrid, talent isn't enough. You need an almost irrational ambition to win, a deep respect for history, and above all, the certainty that there's nothing greater. Konate, by flirting with his rival, failed the test of character even before negotiations began. His name was permanently erased, and while the door closed on the unworthy and the hesitant, it opened triumphantly for a young man who seems to have been born to shine in Madrid. After the tension, rejections, and disappointments, the sun shone again at the Santiago Bernabéu, and it shone with an Argentine accent. Franco Mastantuono's presentation wasn't a formal event. It was a celebration, the coronation of the new Madrid prince. At just 18 years old, the youngster donned the number 30 jersey, stared into the spotlight without blinking, and uttered the words every Madrid fan longed to hear. "This is the greatest day of my life. I swear I'll give my soul for this club." His 63.2 million euro signing was the culmination of Real Madrid's South American strategy, a silent yet lethal operation that secured the youngster's signature before the European sharks could even prepare their offers. It's the same formula used with Vinicius, Rodrigo, and Endrick: identify, convince, and sign the future today. But what's most impressive is the plan for him. Mastantuono will train daily with the first team, absorbing knowledge from masters like Cruz, Valverde, and Bellingham. Under the direct supervision of Xabi Alonso, the new coach is delighted. He doesn't see Mastantuono as just raw talent. He sees a footballing brain, a player who can be molded into the next great maestro of the Real Madrid midfield. Mastantuono's arrival concludes this news cycle not as a simple reinforcement, but as the ultimate symbol of the club's philosophy. While others get lost in failed negotiations for current players, Real Madrid builds with patience and boldness the legends of tomorrow. Madridistas, the story we tell today is not a series of isolated events. It is a single, powerful strategic move. Nkunku's rejection demonstrated principle. Xabi's ultimatum demonstrated demand. Wharton's withdrawal demonstrated pride. Konate's indifference demonstrated identity. And Mastantuono's arrival demonstrated vision. This is the new Real Madrid, a club that knows its worth, imposes its conditions, and plans its future with an ambition that frightens its competitors. We are witnessing the construction of a new dynasty, brick by brick. If you felt part of each of these decisions, if your heart beats faster seeing the club act with such greatness, then you're in the right place. Smash the like to endorse this winning philosophy. Subscribe to be the first to know the next steps of this revolution and leave your comment. Which board move made you most proud to be a Madridista? Because here, we don't just report, we decipher Real Madrid. Hala Madrid, and nothing else.